Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome to NHL 20. Yes, the trial has finally released today, and yeah, I've basically been testing out franchise mode for like the last hour or so, and I am finding it a bit difficult because, well, the simulation's not that bad, but it's just because I'm not into manual scouting. But I'll show you guys some of the new features and whatnot. So since we're in the off season, I can't really do the trade finder just yet. But yeah, so basically the coaching staff here is this screen. So you have your NHL head coach, your NHL associate coach, your assistant coach, and then you also have some goalie coaches, and then you're also your AHL coaches. So on this screen, you could actually go to your coach's stats, see how good they are, and then you could also see what their win record was. So that was their record from the regular season, going 31, 37, and 14. And then if you go to full career stats, you could see all seasons. So yeah, it's pretty cool with that. Another thing I really find is pretty cool, not based on the coaches, but on the actual players themselves. So I made a trade in this just to test out to see what it was like. So I basically acquired Andreas Johansson from the Toronto Maple Leafs. 1 second. Because I was offered him. So one thing I find that's actually really cool about this is, like, you know how it says the team name now, but now it actually has kind of like split stats. So I could see when he was with Toronto, he played 56 games, putting up 16 points. And then he went over to us playing 26 games, going with 10 points. So he played better with us than he did with Toronto. And it's probably due to ice time. Yeah, he got like a shit ton more ice time by like almost 8 minutes or so. And yeah, that's probably why his production went up. But yeah, it's still kind of just cool to see what team he's played with in both seasons. So that way, if a player gets traded at the deadline, you can know by actually going to their player stats and whatnot. So yeah, I found that pretty neat. Also, the scoring is way up because, like, I set it to medium, which is like the default one. They also have low and high for you to change the scoring in the league. And I guess if you sent it to high, it would be insane. But I have it on medium, and as you can see, Johnny Gaudreau led the league with 109 points, which is really crazy. I haven't seen a player get 109 points really since Kucherov, but like then again, before that was like a long time ago. So yeah, pretty crazy stats all around just on medium. One thing I found kind of weird though is that Eric Stahl managed to put up 101 points, and somebody like Zuccarello put up 98 points. As well, there was kind of a few questionable trades why Minnesota would be doing that, but I guess Minnesota's kind of in like a win now situation. Also, for year number one, the Winnipeg Jets won the Stanley Cup over the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is somewhat realistic if Winnipeg actually could still continue to be a playoff team this year in real life. As you can see, also Tampa Bay won the President's Trophy, which I think is definitely realistic. And then here's the individual awards. Carlson winning the Norris is questionable, I guess, if he stays healthy. Capo Caco won the Calder, which is kind of cool. So I don't know if Jack Hughes is in it. I think Jack Hughes should be in the game because it said he might be on release. And then you can see they have the Jack Adams Award for the Coach of the Year, which was Carolina's coach. Let's actually check if Jack Hughes is in the game because I'm pretty sure he was. Because that's what at least they said on EA, like on their Twitter account. So Jack Hughes is, yeah, he is in the game. There he is, 40 points in 82 games. He was a minus 20. His potential I can't tell because I have it on, Fog of War. Let's actually take a look at Capo Caco. So Caco had a really good season, 71 points. Probably because he was playing with Panarin, I would assume, and like, yeah, a few other good players. So yeah, so that's basically that. Let's actually do a draft and like some more stuff, maybe some more season simulating, so you guys could actually see that stuff as well. I'm trying not to use a lot of the time of my trial on this because I want to be working on my rosters and stuff. So might as well just give you guys a bit of a preview on this. I was gonna do an alumni video, but I don't know if I'm going to now. So here's the new draft lottery results screen. So as you can see, it shows how the teams moved up. So Tampa Bay has first overall because Vancouver traded first overall apparently. Wow. And that was the 5th overall pick, but then it's moved up to number 1, I guess. So that is just not good at all, because Tampa Bay is already a really good team, and just imagine adding Alexis Lafreniere to that team. Montreal has 2nd, followed by Los Angeles, St. Louis, who, yeah, St. Louis had a really bad season because they actually fired their head coach during the season. So I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I guess they missed out on the playoffs, and yeah, that's basically how it looks like now. So that's kind of cool. Let's see, what do we got here? Also, the scouting, I probably didn't scout players as good as I should have because I had it on manual scouting and I'm not used to manual scouting. So once I get used to that, maybe I'll be better at it, but I don't know really how to work it right now. So here's the retirements for year number 1. As you can see, Marian Hossa, Jason Spezza, Kurs Kunitz, who actually just retired in real life, so this is kind of outdated a bit. Tyler Bozak retired already. That's kind of weird, 34, and he's already retired. I mean, like, it's kind of realistic, but I don't think Bozak will retire yet. Nathan Horton retiring, Johan Franzen, Matt Molson, pretty much guys you would expect to retire at this point in time. Roman Polak actually retired as well. Cam Barker doesn't have a picture this year. That's interesting. So there's all that sort of stuff. We don't need to go through every single player that retired. Goalies, Michael Layton and Hannu Toivonen. Boston Bruins legend. So there you go. Okay, so coaches retirement things. So these are the following players that retired that are now coaches, apparently. So, oh no, the following coaches retired in the league. So these teams lost their coaches. So Arizona, Binghamton Devils, the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. Okay, so you get a notification about who is retiring for coaches each year, which is nice. Looks like a lot of AHL coaches and some NHL coaches. I don't think we lost any. Yeah, we didn't lose any, so that's interesting. And then the retired players are now scouts. So Marian Hossa is now a scout. Johan Franzen is now a scout as well, and same with Jason Spezza. And what is this? Oh, that means Johan Franzen for us, actually, because he retired. He's now a scout. The following players from your team are now able to be a scout. Let's actually see if Franzen's a good scout, because maybe we'll use him as our Swedish scout if he's good in Sweden. I don't think he will be, but he's currently assigned to AHL Atlantic. His CHL or SHL stats aren't that good, which is kind of annoying. I wish they would have maybe made that a little bit different, where if a player's from a country, they're maybe more familiar with that country. Because right now he has an SHL rating of a C-, which I think is kind of unrealistic, but he's good at the WHL. So we could use him in the WHL, but I think we already have a good scout, so we'll just leave him out where he's assigned, but still, that's kind of cool to see him as a scout. Because, like, I haven't really had players retire and become scouts in NHL 19, so that's kind of a cool feature. Nobody became a coach, unfortunately, that I know of, because I wanted to see them in-game, but we'll do maybe a couple, like, seasons in this, depending on how the simming goes. This might be a long video, I don't know. So, draft interviews. Oh yeah, we have to do our draft interviews. Those are something that's new as well. So, there was one guy I definitely wanted to interview that was on our third round, like in the 3rd round. I don't even know where we're drafting. I didn't even look at the thing, but I definitely want to interview this Cody Jones guy because he is a gem. I don't really know anything about him, but he's a sniper. Supposed to go in like I think that's the 3rd round. I feel like he could be a top 6'4", but he's probably a top 9. And he was playing in the United States. Put up pretty good points. So yeah, we'll interview this guy, see what he's like. So interview player. Let's see what this interview system is like. So thanks so much for inviting me for the interview before the draft. I'm excited by the thought of joining your organization. Let's see. What do we want to talk about? Skills, play style, personality, and interview. Let's talk about his skills. I want to see what he's good at. Let's chat about strengths and weaknesses. Sure, that works for me. Let's chat about my strengths and weaknesses. Tell me, what do you consider your greatest strength? What would you consider, or what would you think is your biggest weakness on the ice? Let's see what he would think is his best strength is. Has to be my shot. I feel like I can nail a shot better than most, and I want to be able to put up in front of my net if I want to. Interesting. What about your weakness, though? I'm more of a skill player, so my physicality is sometimes not there on a nightly basis. Okay, so this guy, just because of his height and stuff, which is what I kind of expected, isn't that physical. And I have one more question left to ask this guy, so one more question to ask him. Let's ask him his play style. Okay, so how ready do you think you're to play in the NHL? Yeah, I should probably ask him about that. Can you give me a quick breakdown on how you play on the ice? Now, let's ask him about his NHL readiness. To be honest, I feel like I need at least a few seasons before I'm ready to hit my stride and will be competitive in the NHL. I'm dedicated to that goal. Okay. So this guy's a few years out. It means maybe we'll have to wait a couple seasons, but I think he might be a cool, interesting player to add. So there you go, Cody Jones. That's kind of a cool thing to interview a scout, like players like that, and then doesn't change anything. Okay, so that guy might be interesting to draft for sure. And we know now that he's a low top 6, almost maybe looking like maybe a medium top 6. I still think I might draft that guy just out of curiosity. Other guys that we want to interview. So we could interview, I don't know how much players in this, but I know I wanted to interview that guy. Let's actually check goalies, see if there's any good goalies potentially. Because Detroit definitely needs a goalie. This guy has a star, so he is recommended by my scout apparently, but since he's a real player, I don't know how good he is. I might only just do that one, just to test that out, because I want to kind of go through a lot of this different things. So, let's actually interview also this Roberto McKelly guy, because he's supposed to go pretty high up, and we have a high first rounder probably. So thank you so much for taking the time to interview me. I'm extremely nervous about the next few days. Okay, so 3 questions. Let's ask him about his NHL readiness right out the get-go, because that's a very important question, especially for a team that's this young. I feel like I'm ready to make an impact in the NHL now. So this guy is going to be getting into the NHL right away, which is pretty much expected considering he's like an early first rounder. Let's also ask him about his skills. So what is your greatest strength? Let's ask that again, because that's an important question. He likes his skating, and he could accelerate quicker, and he could turn on a dime. So this guy's a very speedy player. Okay, I don't want to ask him about his weaknesses. Let's ask him about his play style. Or actually, not his play style. We already did that. This guy's probably like, what the heck are you doing? Let's ask him about his personality for something different. How do you describe your personality? I'm a consummate professional and I get along with everyone. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Roberto McKelly. So yeah, I think those are the only 2 we're just going to interview for now, but when I do an actual franchise mode series, which will be Montreal starting next Monday, I'll probably do more interviews, and apparently you could do 3 of them, I think it just said. So yeah, interviews conducted 2 out of 3. So we could do up to 3 interviews. So like I could interview a random late round guy too, but yeah, that's pretty much that. We're not going to interview anybody else just because I want to get into the draft and see how the draft goes and all that stuff for trades and whatnot. Okay, so let's just hop right into this and see what happens. Because I'm not really know what to expect. So where are we drafting? Number 7. So I wonder if teams are going to go on players that like basically what they were looking for, like based on their system. Like if they're looking for a player that actually matches their system, or they're just going to take the best available. So Tampa Bay is probably going to go with Lafreniere. I don't think they wouldn't, but let's see what happens. First overall, yep, they take Lafreniere. So the obvious choice for number 2, let's actually take a look. Montreal has number 2. Would probably be Winehandle, but I don't know. It match. If he matches their system, I think they'll take him, but it's just, I don't know how that's going to work. So let's see if Montreal takes him. Yet they do. We don't know his potential, but that guy's an 82 overall. So he's better out of the gate than Lafreniere. So with our pick at number 7, we're probably just going to take Perfetti because we know Perfetti's good. Yeah, we'll just take Perfetti for this little test. He's definitely a 72 overall, so he's it's not the best, but like he's just behind Byfield, Raymond, and all those type of guys. So let's sim to user pick. Let's actually not pick anybody else. We'll wait. We'll do the first 3 rounds. Sorry if this video is all over the place. I'm just not used to commentating on a game I don't know much about, so not yet at least. So this guy's supposed to go 31st, but I don't think he's that good. I might just take one of these guys, like Alan Murata. Don't know anything about him. Unfortunately, I didn't do a good job at scouting, so we won't know, but let's just take any random players anyways. 64 overall, we don't know his potential. It's going to be weird playing with Fog of War if I play with it. We have another second rounder. This guy apparently has a star, so Scout's recommending this guy, so we'll do that. Mr. Turnquist. And then with our 3rd round pick, we should be taking Cody Jones if he is still available. Hopefully the computer didn't just snap him up. Wait, actually, let's scout by gem and stuff like that. I think he might have already went, which really sucks if that's the case. Yeah, no, he did not. Okay. So actually, this might be a bit too early. 21 spots ahead. And we'll take him anyways. See if he's good enough. 64 overall, sniper. Not sure about his potential, but that's not bad. Let's just sim the rest of the draft and we'll take a look at any trades that happened at the draft just to see what it's like for teams to move around in the draft situation. See if they actually did make more moves at the draft. So, because it didn't pop up with any notifications about trades happening at the draft, but they do during the regular season. So, at the draft, looks like a lot of teams just moved picks. Ottawa moved Mikkel Bodker to Buffalo with a second for a second. I guess it's just because of his contract, so Buffalo was willing to take on his contract. Colorado acquired a 1st and a 4th from Buffalo for a 1st. It's kind of weird. Okay, so that's that. Now let's get into... Yeah, I guess we'll do re-sign stage and stuff like that. Actually, let's take a look at... yeah, we'll go re-sign stage. I don't know if we have to any coaches that need re-signing or what. So, following scouts need contracts. Were those just AHL scouts? I don't even know. Okay, so let's get to the contracts, see what this is like. See if this is any change to them. You can now offer contracts to players during the course of the season. Players that currently have 1 year left or remaining eligible for contract extension, of course. Players who want extensions will show yes in the EXT. That's not really new, so... anyways, let's go to RFAs. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do much more on this video. Well, let's just see what players are actually asking for, just to see if it's a little bit more realistic. So, Anthony Mantha, he just came off of, how much points? 58 points, did it say? Yeah, 58 points. Let's see what he would like really want for a contract. He wants 2 years at $7 million, just based on how his season was, I think. But let's see, somebody like Adam Ernie, who probably, yeah, he only had 20 points. He'd probably want way less. Yeah, 1.5 only. So I guess that's kind of newish. I don't know if it's the same as what it would be like in NHL 19 or not. Anything else cool in this? Probably not. No, not really. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this little just like preview of NHL 20 franchise mode and my thoughts. I actually really like this so far. I'm gonna probably stop playing it though and just work on my roster build soon, because I've wasted a lot of time on this trial. So anyways, let me know what you guys think of the trial down below, and I'll see you guys in NHL 20 on Monday.